10 students of Howard Payne University Fall 2013 Management 5312 MBA class each interviewed a minimum of 3 managers that the students felt were effective as managers. A total of 40 interviews were conducted with managers from diverse fields from manufacturing to restaurants. These managers also came from varying levels of responsibility, from small businesses to $500 million businesses. The interviews consisted of 2 questions. Describe the 3 experiences that most shaped you as a manager. And what lessons did you learn from these experiences? The interviews were collected and the students searched for words and phrases that were common to many of the managers' experiences. A list of the top 10 items of influence and top 10 lessons learned were determined.
Understanding the financials of a company seemed to be a common experience of growth among those interviewed. It was clear that the operations of a company must work within the financial constraints of what was handed to each leader. The leaders interviewed were unanimous that if all possible, people were put first when it came to influence to make the needed change to move in a profitable direction. Beginning with the interview process, through the continued development of individuals, including any final separation of employment, an emphasis should be placed on interpersonal conduct that treats an individual with respect and common decency. The first opportunity for a manager to establish a framework to communicate the goals, objectives, and future expectations within the organization is during the interview process. Interviewees in the study related that negative experiences were as valuable as the positive. The spectrum of styles and behaviors provided a framework of acceptable limits and potential possibilities that became reference points in future endeavors. Different cultures and personalities are motivated by different needs, and understanding the motivational needs of the diverse workforce and using this knowledge in everyday management functions will make the manager more effective. Shock training often brings out the core competencies in a manager. Having observed the pitfalls of forced ascension, managers learn to identify the skills needed when they interview future job candidates. Many of the successful managers alluded to experiences in which quick, decisive action was needed in shaping employees' behavior. This action was taken both in reinforcing good behaviors and eliminating bad behaviors. Managers who are tactfully confrontational are always on the forefront of an employee's mind. Clearly known expectations create a clear path to better performance. Competitive spirit and strict discipline of the United States Armed Forces came through in many of our subjects. These people use words like failure, winning, and losing when discussing all aspects of their daily routines. For many, clear definitive action and decision-making are a result of their military service. Companies that are family-centric create an atmosphere where outside managers learn to balance competing loyalties. Managers in these situations recite improved diplomacy skills and the ability to perceive situations from many different angles. Many of the subjects stated that becoming a parent affected their managerial style. Some of the skills acquired as a parent are patience, understanding, flexibility, and adaptability. Parenting requires the ability to multitask, handle stress, and negotiate, all proficiencies relevant in today's workforce. Positive role models who have encouraged, coached, and pushed employees to keep on giving have left lasting impressions related to good leadership and management. Those who have learned the value of good mentorship become good mentors that take pride of their contributions to the success of those they have influenced. Understand the business profit and loss, and learn to work with the financial team. Many subjects stated that they had to be able to read and interpret the profit and loss statement and understand the financial constraints they were working within. Many advised that everyone must learn to work with the financial team to achieve movement towards a common objective. A manager's success is dependent upon the mutual respect he or she earns from the employee's perspective. A manager fails to achieve the desired level of cooperation when communications are deficient and ineffective. Interaction with employees was a focal point of nearly all managers interviewed. Communication with employees was what kept them feeling tied to the success of their organizations. It was also noted that being compassionate and respectful to employees, treating them like the customer, will make them more willing to take care of customers and the business. Many of the subjects talked about the value of having excellent recruiting and hiring skills. The subjects talked about taking the time necessary to hire the right people for the right job. Each of their experiences reflected upon left the interviewees with better abilities for selecting employees with the right temperaments for each specific position. A mentor must have admirable ethics and values. Take away as much as possible to better yourself. Many interviewees noticed that pairing employees in mentoring relationships often enhance the skills of the mentor as well as the person being mentored. Self-awareness is being conscious of what you do know, but still realizing that you need to learn more. The ability to admit to making mistakes, admitting you're wrong, and acknowledge your weaknesses is key. You need to acknowledge, realize, ask for feedback, listen to others, and work on patience. Learn how to approach success and failures, evolve, and develop coping strategies. Realizing strengths and weaknesses increase others' trust in you and your credibility. Being consistent on what you do, legally and ethically, and lead by example. You must encompass maturity, integrity, and connect with others. With maturity comes wisdom. You should be able to gauge your impact on others and focus on a positive attitude. Many managers find themselves promoted from within the ranks of their peers to a position of greater authority, or are hired into a position among a population of subordinates. In both cases, there is the challenge of establishing and maintaining authority. The role of a manager is important to establish and maintain guidance and leadership. There is a balance in establishing relationships that win the respect of your team members and your superiors. Exposure to multiple personality types is inherent in any managerial role. The successful managers learn from these encounters and use a diversity of talents to their advantage. An effective manager uses the resources of the team in the most productive manner. A good manager acknowledges how each team member needs to be approached and motivated to work within the team structure. A manager must understand the customer's needs and manage the company in order to meet those needs. Whether it's product design, a service, or an upper-level manager, Meeting that customer's needs and expectations is what will keep them coming back.
The last lesson learned is made up of several lessons that are all valuable enough to be noted in the top 10. This lesson could be best summed up as the values of common sense, simplicity, integrity, and honor. Commitment to the mission and those you serve and lead by being humble and honest were noted testaments from a majority of the subjects. Underlying themes for several lessons learned. Find, build, and maintain great people. Stay open to new ideas and different people. Don't let problems go unresolved. Never fail in order to learn, but never fail to learn from failure. Document everything. We would like to thank everyone that was involved in this project. Thank you.